It is often proposed to me that advocates for a stateless society, or even in some cases heavily limited government, wish for, either directly or unintentionally, massive multinational corporations to rule and exploit everyone. This claim operates under one rather large assumption, that being that corporations would still exist in the same form they do today, and also act in the same manner that they do today, should the state be removed from the market. The main flaw in this line of argument is that a corporation itself is an invention of the state. To form one, you file paperwork with whatever government is local to you, and have to continuously do so whilst the corporation exists. In exchange for filing this paperwork, the state grants your corporation effective personhood. It becomes an entity separate from those that run it and own it. It is taxed differently, it is regulated differently, and it grants the owners of it new powers. One of those new powers, and the one most dangerous to the market, is limited liability, in which the shareholders of that corporation are only liable for its failings up to the value of the shares, taking much of the risk out of business. If your corporation is successful and generates a large amount of wealth, you can reap the rewards of that and make a personal fortune. If, however, the corporation fails, you do not suffer the consequences of debt to anywhere near the degree you otherwise would. The other main advantage involved is that by becoming a separate entity, any legal action against your corporation is not taken against those that control it. Since you cannot lock up an abstract concept, the corporation is likely only to face fines or increased regulation. Combined, these two things allow owners of corporations to act with great risk, safe in the knowledge that should everything backfire, they will not be the ones to bear the burden of the repercussions. Without the government present in the market, neither of these options are available to business owners. The incentive to take massive risks is not there. If you damage the property of others, or go into massive debt, it is you that has to pay out for it. The most common example I hear regarding this issue is that of the BP oil spill, in which by cutting corners and not focusing on safety, BP caused a massive amount of oil to leak in the Gulf of Mexico. As a result of the oil spill, BP were fined billions of dollars for gross negligence and reckless conduct. Obviously not brilliant for the profit margins of the corporation, but not exactly a big deal for the individuals who run it. The people running the corporation did not personally suffer the consequences of the spill, but if there had been no spill, they certainly would have personally gained a lot from the sales of oil. It was not a risk for them, and there was no real concern for safety because of it. If there was no government involvement in the market, BP as a separate entity would not exist in the first place. There would instead be a group of individuals who might use BP as a brand name. If they bought the land and drilled for oil in it, they would be responsible for it. If they took great risk and caused a massive spill that caused damage to other people's property, it would be those individuals that would be held responsible. It would be their personal wealth and property that would be at risk. By providing actual consequences for their actions, they would not have the incentive to act in such a reckless manner, and would likely have been far more concerned with the safety of the operation. If they had not been, they would have actually suffered as a result of it. This strange belief that there are large multinational corporations hell-bent on exploiting and manipulating everyone, and the only thing standing in the way is the government and its regulations, is a falsehood. It is the government that allows such multinational corporations to exist, and allows them to operate without consequence. If it indeed were true that libertarians, voluntarists, and anarcho-capitalists truly did want a world in which corporations could rule us all, why is it that the people behind said corporations are not libertarians themselves? Why instead are they often in favour of more government intervention in the market?